So this is on the mapping set. Anything that on this screen?
Uh, no, I think I'd have to go back. Anyway, I mean, it's a lot to take take in. But yeah, as concept, I think I'm okay. I'll come. I mean, I'll ask questions afterwards, maybe, but not right now.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Arun, before we move on to the next one, a quick question.
Yeah,
How do we, um, okay, can you help me with adding points to the resume?
yeah. To resume for Fusion profile, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I'm an expert or anything, at least has knowledge of kind of a thing.
Okay. So we can say in terms of data migration, we
Uh-huh.
can say like on knowledge part, we can say WSTL, and we can say importing through web services like REST API.
Mm,
So this part we can say as a knowledge part, and
okay.
worked on this we can say the customizing the role and data access. These things we can say,
Hmm.
and more of an generic. Maybe I'll share you one profile, the sample one.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So with that maybe you can check. Yeah. So with that maybe we can check. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, yeah. Just that I don't want to say I have experience or anything, but at least I know the concepts kind of a thing if I put it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anybody is interested, they can at least reach out.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll pause this one. The sample one, I'll just pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this, so we have create account rule. So
Mhm.
what this will do is that this will basically validate the chart of account, and this will give a value. So based on what we created on the earlier set, so that we will attach it in the condition. So after we
So this create account comes up based on what is done in the mapping set.
Yeah, we will attach chart of accounts here one thing, and we will attach it
Hmm.
in the condition. The
Okay. What do
mapping,
you attach it down also the chart of accounts you attach?
no, mapping set. So chart
Mapping
of,
set. Okay, if it's an if condition kind of. Okay.
yeah. So basically, we will attach the chart of account here, and we will give the
Hmm.
rule, and we will attach the mapping set that we created in the earlier setup. So that will be attached here,
Okay.
the conditions.
Okay. But when it comes to rule itself, what is the rule that we are looking for?
Basically, we are inputting all those the conditions and how the system should generate everything. We are mentioning in the mapping set. So this will be
Okay.
kind of a template where we are saying to the system that this
Hmm.
is the chart of account that will be used to generate based on this mapping set. So this is
Okay.
kind of a template we can say, but actual engine that is being run by this one, the mapping set, which we did it in the earlier setup.
Okay. But for rules, you specifically don't have to give anything, is what I'm asking.
No, even here we will give the condition. Like if you see here, so let's
No, I
say,
understand the condition,
yeah,
but the one above that is rules, right? It's all grayed out.
yeah.
So,
Once we save this header level information, we will have
okay.
we will have this one.
Oh, okay.
So maybe after we complete the AGS part, so maybe we can see this one uh,
Okay.
because
So this is not part of AGIS?
no, this will be used when we have the requirement of customizing the account code combination. So this is not part of AGS.
Ah, see, I'm thinking this is still part of the AGIS only. Okay.
No, like in case if you wanted to customize in the business scenario,
Okay.
those cases I'm saying.
So are we done with the AGIS part?
Yeah, AGS we are done. So I'm just giving the additional thing like
Okay, okay.
uh,
So this customization of this account code combination starts with the mapping set.
yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, as a part of AGIS configuration, so we will not
Mm-hmm.
have all these options. I
Uh,
have added this one like the AGIS configuration part. So there
mm-hmm.
you can check it. Like those are the mandatory configuration that we will need for the advanced global intercompany transactions.
Okay.
Yeah, so which will not contain this part like the mapping set and the accounting row. So this is completely on the subledger accounting customization part.
Okay.
Yeah,
And this impacts both AR and AP?
yeah, yes.
Okay. And any other module, or is it just those two?
No, this will impact only AP and AR.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so reason for that is that we are attaching the intercompany. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, system will validate intercompany. So when this particular thing is enabled only for AP and AR, so system will
Mm-hmm.
impact only for this. So when we are
Okay.
seeing the AR, so at last, like while we are completing or closing this AR module, so we will
Mm-hmm.
see the custom SLA configuration. So how to generate different account code combination, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe we'll take a scenario and we will configure and we will check the accounting part.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
move on.
So this we have it for the provider and we have it for the receiver. So if
Mm-hmm.
you see here, so we have the source and the other things. So whatever we saw in the earlier setup.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of an what do you call the view only, and we can just view this information.
Okay.
So these are the objects that is created in the system.
Okay.
And the final one is that the transaction account definition.
So the previous one, the managed transaction types, we already defined them earlier, right? So we're just viewing it in this.
Yeah, no, this transaction type what we saw is for the account code combination generation. So this is for the custom generation, but whereas for the normal one, the transaction type what we created in the initial stage should be sufficient.
I'm a little confused. Can you go back, please?
Yeah, or else I'll do one thing. I'll avoid this configuration
Hmm.
and I will show.
I'm just trying to relate where we are jumping to. So,
So here, if you see, so this four configurations what we did
yes. Uh-huh.
is required for AGS, and
Okay.
we are attaching the data access set for the user.
Okay.
And apart from that, when we are using the subledger modules, we will attach or we will use this two configuration called supplier and customer association
Hmm.
and intercompany receivable assignment. So that's it.
Okay.
So we are done with our AGS configuration. So the
Okay.
final configuration for AGS would be manage intercompany balancing.
Hmm.
So this is similar to what we saw for this one, what we call the normal intercompany and intracompany transactions.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will just attach it at the primary segment value, so stating that
Hmm.
this is the ledger, and
Hmm.
so here we will have the different ledgers. So that will be the only difference. So apart from
Okay.
that, almost everything is same.
Okay. You don't have to worry about the other tabs. Legal
No,
entity rules, ledger rules.
no, like there are multiple options to utilize the balancing rules. So once
Okay.
so if I'm using primary segment rules, so I will not use legal
Uh-huh.
entity, ledger, or the chart of accounts.
Oh, either or.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are done with AGS, and
Hmm.
the configuration that I was showing is for the customizing the accounting. So I don't want to
Yes.
confuse now, so I'll just leave
Mhm.
that option.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are done with our AGS.
Hmm.
Maybe we can start with our transaction.
Okay.
So this is the tab that we will need it,
Hmm.
and I'll just click the transaction type.
Intercompany accounting. Okay. And this is not specific to a module.
No, the intercompany is a module, a very small.
Intercompany itself is a module.
Yeah, but we will not find any consultant specifically working on this because this is
Hmm.
very smaller module. So this
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be basically handled by what you call, the
GL.
GL consultant.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is this. It is not under GL itself, like, but in GL only three you have, right? Like period close, whatever those.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is different module actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just click create transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So here, if you see, we have two things. So first
Mm-hmm.
thing is on the provider, and the second thing is on the receiver part. So what is
Okay.
provider? What provider will do, and what receiver will do? So provider is the one who actually delivers the material. So in this case, when I select TS, which means Tata Steel
Mm-hmm.
is delivering some amount of steel to the Tata consultancy for the
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it is it works under the same umbrella, but still
Mm-hmm.
as an entity, if you look at it, it is two different entities.
Mm-hmm.
So we will need this intercompany revenue and the expense booked in. So for that, what we are saying is that, so here in this case, our understanding is that provider, which means Tata Steel, is selling
Mm-hmm.
to Tata Consultancy. Okay.
Okay.
So I will add here the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So that is TKS,
Mm-hmm.
Tata Consultancy. Okay.
Yeah.
And here, if you see, so this is where I'm selecting whether this should go to GL or this should go to payable or receivable. So first we will look at it, the GL part. So I'll select default and
So let me ask you very, very, very basic question here. So um, we are doing a transaction here, which you said is a different module itself, right?
yeah,
Intercompany is. So that means that so that it's independent of all the AP and AR transactions, right? Any subledger transactions.
yeah. We cannot say independent like fixed asset module. We cannot even say fixed asset module.
Uh-huh.
Which one is
No, the where I'm coming from is like see, in AP, you have vendors
yeah,
and they provide the services, and then you are the receiver there, right?
yeah,
I mean, like you are the one who gets the goods from the vendor
yeah,
in
correct.
AP.
Yeah.
So that concept is there, and then in receivables, you are giving your services to the customer.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that pretty much completes it. So then again, why do we have a provider here separately?
Yeah. So,
I know I'm asking you the basic
yeah,
ones because I have no idea. I'm just trying to relate.
yeah, got it. Just 1 minute. I will take the Excel sheet. Yeah. So you are seeing the Excel sheet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have AP module,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have AR module.
Okay.
So in AP we have vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, in AR, we have vendors,
Customers.
customers. Sorry. So this is Tata, let's say consultancy.
Okay.
So here it is Tata Steel.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, if you see for Tata Steel, vendor is let's say Honeywell,
Okay.
and for Tata Consultancy, maybe let's say customer is AT&T.
Mm.
They are providing IT support.
Okay.
Okay, so here in this case, even Tata Steel will have their own customers.
Okay.
Let's say vendor name is let's say ABC Limited,
Mm-hmm.
and here again Tata Consultancy will have vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Infosys.
Mm-hmm.
Infosys gives third party support, and so they Infosys becomes vendor.
Okay.
So here as a whole, if you see Tata Consultancy is an entity. So for this
Mm-hmm.
entity, so we have a customer. So for
Mm-hmm.
now, leave this part AP and AR. So just
Mm-hmm.
look at it only the
Vendor and customer.
vendor and customer. So in this
Mm-hmm.
case, if you see for Tata Consultancy, we have both customer and vendor. So who is
Yes.
vendor? Vendor is Infosys. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm using this what you call resource of Infosys, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm delivering a few services to AT&T. So which
Okay.
means I will bill maybe 1 lakh to
Mm-hmm.
AT&T, and I
Mm-hmm.
will give back maybe 60K to vendor.
To vendor. Okay.
Okay, so I'm taking 1 lakh for the service that I have provided to AT&T, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving 60K to
Okay.
the vendor that I received support.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in this case, if you see for Tata Consultancy,
Mm-hmm.
so this will come under AR module and this will come under AP module. So here we will book service.
Okay.
Similarly, here we will book service, but for the different party. So
Okay.
that is for the Infosys, and this
Mm-hmm.
will be for AT&T. So
Okay.
similarly, here we
Mm-hmm.
have customer and we have vendor. So
Mm-hmm.
Honeywell supplies few raw materials, let's say
Mm-hmm.
like or any sensors
Mm-hmm.
that they are giving for manufacturing unit. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say they have the sensor to identify whether this particular process will run for maybe 8 hours or 10 hours. So this will give
Mm-hmm.
an alarm. So this
Mm-hmm.
particular sensor we are getting from Honeywell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we are getting this for let's say 1 lakh.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we have maybe around thousand quantities we procured it. So
Mm-hmm.
total cost is 1 lakh.
Okay.
So with this we manufactured an item.
Mm-hmm.
We manufactured steel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we are selling this particular steel to
Mm-hmm.
the customer called ABC Limited.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at whole in
That's
this
when
case,
you become the okay.
yeah,
You become the vendor, and that ABC becomes the customer.
yeah, correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, correct. So it will become vice versa. So when
Mm-hmm.
I look at that ABC Limited, so this will be my customer, and when I see Honeywell, it will be my vendor. So similarly,
Mm-hmm.
for them, if you see for ABC, I'm vendor,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
for Honeywell, I'm customer.
Okay.
So this is the primary difference. So this are we good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So second case, in our case, like
Mm-hmm.
AGIS model, so how
Mm-hmm.
it will work is that, so now we understood that this is the customer and this is the vendor. So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, if you see, for Tata Steel, in our case, so
Mm-hmm.
Tata Steel is providing service, which means consultancy is constructing a building.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, they need few raw materials, so which they are procuring from Tata Steel.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, they are.
So that guy becomes the vendor. Tata Steel is the vendor, and Tata Consultancy is the customer now.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So since the ledger and legal entity is different, we call this as an intracompany transaction. So in this case, if you see, since Tata Steel is selling to Tata Consultancy, so
Mm-hmm.
this becomes a provider. So which means he is providing some service or goods. So he's
Mm-hmm.
providing goods. So he becomes provider, and he is
Mm-hmm.
receiving something. So he
Mm-hmm.
becomes receiver.
Okay. So this also has to be recorded in the books. That's where you enter those transactions.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Or else, what will happen is that I have an item worth of maybe 1 lakh or 10 lakh. So since
Mm-hmm.
this is inside this particular entity, so I will
Mm-hmm.
not book any invoice or any receipt. So what will
Mm-hmm.
happen is that my actual book will show that still I have what do you call the stock of raw material called steel
Mm-hmm.
of maybe
Mm-hmm.
worth of 10 lakh. But in real time, if I go and check in my inventory, I will not
You'll
have
have
this
9
10 lakh
lakhs.
worth. Yeah. So that is the reason we are booking this AGS transaction.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So I'll move to application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have taken provider as Tata Steel, and
Mm-hmm.
since I wanted to take this only to the GL, I have selected this on default. And batch
Mm-hmm.
date and accounting date system is picking automatically, so I just left it as it is.
Okay.
And I have taken this one consultancy, that is TKS.
Mm-hmm.
And here I say this is worth of maybe let's say 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the reason I'm entering this here in debit is that, so this is so Tata Steel is a vendor for me. So when I
Mm-hmm.
book an invoice or an payment entry in the AP module, so my
Mm-hmm.
entry will flow something like expense to liability. So in this
Okay.
case, if you see, expense will be always booked on debit. So that is
Mm-hmm.
why we are capturing this 12,000 in the debit column.
Okay.
So this will be our header information. So for the
Okay.
provider, so this is the header information, and for
Mm-hmm.
receiver, this will be the header information. And
Okay.
here, if you come down, we have provider and receiver. So this will be
Okay.
line item for provider, and receiver. This will be line item for receiver.
Okay.
So I will add an account code combination here.
Uh-huh.
So since this is provider, I'll take
Mm-hmm.
revenue,
Mm-hmm.
miscellaneous revenue. So I'm selling to Tata Consultancy.
Mm-hmm.
So in the intercompany, I'll select Tata Consultancy,
Okay.
and this will be on the provider. So it will be 12,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm done with the basic inputs. So I'll
Hmm.
just save this. So this will be my batch number.
Okay.
So I have here two things. So one is the outbound. So outbound is the
Hmm.
one which I sent, and inbound is something that I received.
Okay.
So I'll just take the inbound and I'll query with the batch number.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is approved.
Okay.
So what I'll do is that I'll just transfer this entries to general ledger. This
Okay.
is the option to transfer it.
Hmm. So you don't have to run any accounting program itself for this
Ye-
one.
Yeah, system will automatically run. So if you see here,
Okay.
so this will run and this will import the journal.
Okay. Interesting. I never even knew that there is something like this, like a complete separate one for intercompany and all this. AGIS.
Yeah,
Because I never worked on GL as such in
okay,
GL, AP, all these are new,
okay.
even fixed asset.
So you worked mostly on the AR.
AR, yes.
Okay,
And that too, it's like, see, they didn't have all the functionalities enabled also. They had bits and pieces because, as I said, they had PeopleSoft financials.
okay,
And then they had EBS.
okay,
So EBS R12 implementation, which involved this service contracts and other things, so other modules. So it was
okay,
all like GL also like bits and pieces, not everything, but just posted simple things, not too much. But most of it was in PeopleSoft Financials itself.
okay.
And that was already an established system. So when I joined that company, I had no clue about financials itself. So they just threw me on the project because the integrations weren't working and they asked me to do that project. I'm like, I have no idea what finance is. I had to learn in 3 weeks and do it for them.
Okay.
And they didn't have anything, no documentation, nothing. I had to write the test cases from scratch for every module.
Yeah, so that will be a hard job. Sometimes what will happen is that people
I
will
had
just expect us to do everything. So,
And they didn't have, and I had no clue. Imagine, I am not from a financial background. I don't know ABCs of financials. And my boss says, "Oh, she knows." I said, "I know PeopleSoft HCM, not PeopleSoft Financials. There's a difference." I said, because the problem is these managers have no clue.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
all that they know is PeopleSoft. Okay, that doesn't mean I know financials.
Yeah, it's hard to convince managers.
Ah, and she threw me under that. And what? It was what my second month in that company, and she
Okay,
happily resigned and left. And I'm like, what the heck?
okay,
And then you have to see every company. I usually have to fight my way through.
okay,
They did not even what what that AP director. She is the control. What is they call that coordinate control coordinator, whatever the top position will be, right? That
okay,
lady threw a big binder
okay,
and she says, "Here you go." I'm like, what the heck? And I had what 3 weeks to finish up everything.
okay,
And I was asking, I told her, see, listen, I can't do this. I'm in the sense like I'm new. If they can provide user, user time, then I can sit
yeah,
with them and see the process and record. I mean, at least I'll type it or I'll write down the steps so
yeah,
that I know what is happening. Because they didn't apply the patches for 3 years for
okay,
PeopleSoft. So
Okay.
that was the issue. So our R12 implementation wasn't working with PeopleSoft because they hadn't updated their bundles.
Okay.
So that was the issue. And that lady threw that. And imagine this is only one module. They had all five modules there in PeopleSoft. And for me, ABCs, I don't know. And I was so stressed out. I used to come home, Google everything because I couldn't find anywhere PeopleSoft documents or anything like Oracle.
Yeah, yeah. That is that.
So it was such a pain to learn. Oh my God, sat, I was going through God knows what the heck this is. I was searching up, I was just learning, and then still they wouldn't support me, 3 weeks. And right before the day I was supposed to start testing, that's when they gave the user time. You know why? That too why? I really got pissed off, and I was new to the company, okay, and
Okay.
I'm in the testing role, QA lead role,
Okay.
and what they did was they were not helping me out, but they expected me to finish the work. For me, I don't take crap. I was waiting for them to do it. They did not do it. So what I did is I went directly to the VP of Finance. I
Okay.
knocked on his door. I went to his room. I said, Kevin, I need help. And he said, what's going on? I said, this is the situation. I'm new to this company. I'm new to finance and I need help. If you want your work done, give me the right help.
Okay.
Then I called a meeting with all the heads of the departments, all managers, everybody, and the VP. And I
Okay.
said, and then everybody came and they're saying, "Oh, we gave her the information." And I was so pissed off. I said, I showed him. This is the document, 2000-page document. I was looking at the VP and I said, do you expect me to go through a 2000-page binder for AP and do my work? I said, I cannot do it. I said, you do whatever you want. I told him.
Okay.
then then he said, oh, okay, they'll help you out and this and that. And then automatically after that meeting, they started giving the user time. Until then, they were doing dramas.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes, I take nonsense. I have to work hard, learn your doku subject. You don't help me. You don't explain. I said, if you want to, I'm like least bothered. You want to fire me, get lost. You want the work done, give me the time.
Yeah.
Then they started giving the time. I mean, your expectation is unreasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't help me, how will I do it? And I'm not a financial expert. That's the problem. I mean, people's expectations are so bad. Everywhere it's the same nonsense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially it will handle, it will happen for the project.
And
So,
and the worst part is I am the lead, right?
yeah.
Every company I go to, I lead myself. There is nobody to lead.
Okay.
Every company I go, it's like I have to do the work, I have to write the scripts, I have to do everything because they usually don't hire people for these ERPs. They're
Okay.
expensive, so they cut down on the budget.
Okay.
With one person, they want to do all the modules, everything, and they expect all deadlines to be met.
Yeah, that will be hard actually.
And I'm like, there is a limit for any nonsense, right? So I just give back. I say, get lost. You want the work done? Give me more per one person at least. But they did. After everything is done, the second person came, and that fellow is one more fake fellow. And I'm like, "Che karma, I want if somebody is there, at least somebody should help me out." In fact, I was telling him what to do. I said, waste fellow.
Okay.
But he's another lazy fellow. I said, okay, I need to protect this fellow. But yeah, and they give the offshore teams.
Okay.
Like some companies they hire because they're cheap, and these all these people are new.
Okay.
ERP, they don't know anything.
Okay.
So I have to train them. Can you believe it? I have to teach them Oracle, and then and I have to get the work done. I'm like, great. And I work with them all through the night, and
Okay.
morning I have to go running to the office. It's so bad.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the journal that is created by the system. So
Hmm.
if you look at it, so basically system will create two transactions. So either
Mhm.
it is GL or AP, AP or AR.
Mhm.
So what system will do is that system will break down into two parts. So that is for the payables and for the receivables.
Okay.
So similarly, here if you see, so this is the batch that we, I mean, the system has generated. So
Mhm.
here, this account called 4515, the revenue account.
Mhm.
So this we
Mhm.
gave it for the provider, and system has generated automatically this particular account called 1218 receivable account. So we
Okay.
can see here that intercompany balancing line. So which means
Mhm.
system has created this particular line to
Okay.
balance this one. So this we are getting it
Mhm.
based on the configuration that we gave it in the balancing group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where is the AP line? AP line is separate, you said?
Yeah, no, AP line is different. So that we will see it when we are seeing the subledger transfers, like transfer to payables, transfer to receivables.
Okay. So whenever you make this kind of transaction in AGIS, it goes to receivables.
That's what we have two options. One is for GL, and the other one
Mhm.
is for this one, or you call the subledger. So when we do with the subledger, this particular transaction will go to receivable.
Okay. But here, when you showed the receivable account, right?
Yeah,
Or
yes,
revenue account. What was that? Receivable and
yeah,
revenue.
yeah. The 1218 will be revenue, and 4515 would be revenue account.
Okay. Receivable and revenue. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the accounting entry for TS ledger. So TS
Okay.
ledger is the one who is actually what do you call giving the service. So which means is the seller.
Okay.
So we will take this one TKS.
Hmm. So did you already post this?
No, I didn't post this. So this
Okay.
is unposted. Yeah. So I'll change the data access set to
Hmm.
TKS,
Hmm.
and I'll select the source as global intercompany.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this will be our payables. So we will
Okay.
have accrued expenses to intercompany payables.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we will just post these transactions. So which
Hmm.
means system will record in their books and it will say that this is an intercompany transaction between two this entity.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what about the intercompany transactions between the two parties handling inside the GL.
Hmm.
Yeah. So now we can create a transaction and try to transfer the entries to payables and receivables.
Okay.
This is the batch number.
Mm-hmm.
Just check if this is approved. Yeah, so this is approved.
Mm-hmm.
So first I will transfer the receivables.
Mm-hmm.
So our receivable is TS.
Mm-hmm. So here in this one, right, it shows us import receivables transactions using auto invoice, which means those are all set up already.
Yeah, setup is already there.
That's why it's coming up. So in order to actually do this intercompany, I mean, whatever you're doing, AGIS,
Yeah,
you need to have these setups in place then.
yeah, correct. The receivable setup should be there.
Uh, See, I was thinking, so let's say I'm done with my GL structure and whatever the basic common configurations. I thought I can just move to this one, which I can't.
No, like with the okay, the transaction we cannot do it. So for the
But the
transaction,
setups you can do it, but not the transaction
yes,
itself.
yes, correct.
But in order to do the transactions, whether it's in AP or in AR,
Yeah,
you have to have all the AP configurations in place and also the AR configurations in place.
yes, correct.
Yeah, okay.
Or else we
I'm
can test only the GL part.
okay.
Yeah. So our program went with success. So maybe we can check the transaction and receivables.
Mhm. So transaction in receivables means you are still in that intercompany only, right?
No, this is AR module.
Oh, you came to AR module. Okay.
Yeah. So in AR module, I'm checking with the source called Global Entry Company,
Okay.
and I'll give the transaction date as today, so that it will give only to I mean my transaction. So it is
Okay.
264. So this is our transaction. So
Hmm.
this is the amount that we gave. So that is 8,000.
Okay.
So we can account this transaction and we can view the accounting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is our intercompany account and this will be
Hmm.
our revenue account. So we gave
Okay.
miscellaneous revenue.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we are done with AR part. So similarly, we will transfer the transaction to AP module as well.
Okay.
So we will go back to the intercompany page.
Hmm. So just a quick question. If somebody is taking just one module, right, training or whatever, so let's say AP or AR or
Okay.
subledgers like that. In that case, do they get to learn about this intercompany and all this?
No, if it is only one company, usually they, I mean, even if you take as a whole, usually some people take this intercompany, but mostly people will not add this intercompany into their curriculum. So they will
Yeah.
show only the normal process like the GL, whatever we saw, and
Uh-huh.
AP, what the basic invoice payment and these things, and
Okay.
using the spreadsheet, these things. So these things we can see.
Okay.
Uh, so- yeah,
So, but generally, if let's say somebody who's a newcomer to Oracle just
yeah,
takes the AP module, let's say he wants to get into AP and he takes the AP module, he will not know this part. And when he sees all this, let's say in the company that he's working for or she's working for, if
yeah,
they see all this intercompany and all, they'll be lost, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They will see they will work on the normal intercompany or intra company, but not
But
on
not
the
the
AP.
AGIS.
Yeah, correct.
Interesting. I never even knew there's such, I mean, like something like this.
Yeah. So I'll transfer to payables also.
Hmm.
So our payable is TKs.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll just copy down the invoice number.
Hmm.
Okay, not validated.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the account that we gave,
Hmm.
accrued expenses, and
Okay.
system will generate intercompany payables.
Hmm.
Intercompany payables corporate.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all about the intercompany.
Hmm.
If you want to continue, we can start the AR configuration, or
No, no, no,
maybe
no.
tomorrow.
We'll see that later.
Okay, no problem.
Eh, And Arun, please, notes, please.
Yeah, yes, yes, I'll send it.
Even for this intercompany also, if you can get some steps or something, right? Like
Yeah,
which comes after what.
yeah, yeah, sure. I uploaded the setup. I'll check for the transaction and
Okay.
I'll put it there.
Okay. I'll have to check. I didn't check yet.
Yeah,
Yesterday night. Okay. Yeah.
I'll,
Thank you so much.
yeah.